halfway through the day, and Cruz has a good thing going. With his fish in transition between their summer and fall haunts, he's working his way back into creek arms, tossing a soft plastic creature bait at shallow cover. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to the size. He's caught both large and small fish this way. On a fun fishing day, he could keep doing this until the sun goes down, but in a tournament situation, the easy fish get picked off quickly. He'd need to find something else to supplement his shallow bite.
There he is. Oh, Lord have mercy. Good gravy, Miss Agnes. Come here. Come here. There it is. Another nice fish out of the laydown. I just finished saying there has got to be a fish on that laydown. I mean, it was in the shade, isolated, sticks out a little further, it's real thick, got a lot of cover to it. Sure enough, there it is. Nice chunk. Beautiful fish. You know, after we caught those good fish on that shallow water cover, I fished all the good looking shallow water cover that I could find. And this lake didn't have a ton of it. So I figured that those fish have to be offshore somewhere. So I started looking there. I'm just gonna start looking for some offshore structure, just anything different. This lake looks pretty flat. So I want to try to find anything that's, you know, hard spot, creek channel, brush pile, anything like that, any type of hump, anything different out here because it looks pretty flat on the depth finder. Comes way on up, looks like it's got grass on it. That's all grass. You can see that's the bottom and then that's the grass. That's interesting.
John has abandoned the shallows, at least temporarily, to look for a group of fish offshore. While he's earned a pile of cash with a shallow diving crankbait, now it's time to get out there and flex his muscles with the launching stick.
Yeah, anytime you're crankbait fishing, whether it's shallow crankbaits or deep crankbaits or anything in between, it's always good once you hit a piece of cover just to give it a little pause and then keep going. You know, there's a number of times, a high percentage of times, that is right when your strike comes, is right when you pause that bait in the strike zone, hits the cover, bounce, 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 and then it pauses for just a second. I mean, you don't have to sit there and wait. It's not a jerk bait. You just, that little hesitation, a lot of times they'll get it. Some hard stuff right there. Yeah, you definitely, you know, want a hard bottom when you're out here fishing, especially in these, you know, lakes that don't fluctuate a whole lot with water flow. You know, they don't have a real hard flow to keep the bottom clean, and they don't fluctuate a whole lot to help keep them clean. The hard bottom in those types of lakes is really key. I think that soft stuff gets in their gills. I don't know. I'm not a biologist and I'm not a fish. I don't think the fish like that soft mud. When they get down on the bottom, I think they suck it in. The bass, unlike other game fish, they have the ability to push water through their gills to breathe. That's the reason they can sit in one place. You know, you got stripers, they can't do that. They have to be swimming. That's why they're always up off the bottom. They have to be swimming to breathe. Bass, they can sit in one spot and push that water through their gills. So that's why I don't think they like a real mushy bottom. They get on that mushy bottom, they start sucking that silt and stuff in through their gills. I think it's, you know, it's like us breathing in smoke. It just doesn't feel good to them. That's my theory. I fished 3 or 4 good looking places out deep. I mean, they had hard bottom, had everything you wanted to catch fish, and it wasn't happening, didn't get a bite. So I made the decision to go back shallow, try some different shallow water cover. I found a few docks, started hitting those. You know, docks can be a great place to pick up some fish. You know, the shade that the docks create when you have those bluebird sky days, always a dependable place to go catch a fish.
John's notion to check the deep fish didn't pay any dividends. He found the ideal structure, but he never hooked up with any bass. Heading back to the shallow water, he'll try a different trend and flip some boat docks. Will this be the end of the road, or will he try his luck back offshore?
Found some cover, found some bass. Not the kind we're looking for, but we'll keep plugging. The Old Faithful docks did come through, but there were some small fish. Also fished some more good-looking shallow water cover and didn't produce. So at that point, I knew I had fished enough shallow water cover that the majority of the fish weren't there. I knew I had to get offshore and find that big school of fish that this lake has to have in it. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. That's some concrete looking stuff. Some fish on it too. I'll throw the buoy out right there. When you go to fish deep, sometimes you've got to idle for a long time. I idled all over this lake looking for good deep water structure, and finally I found it. It looked like some big concrete chunks down there under the water. It was the most obscure thing I've seen on the bottom all day, and it was in the right depth zone. It was in that 8 to 12 foot range. I knew it was going to be good. Oh, hold on. Yeah, oh gosh. Yes, sir. Stay on there, big girl. Mighty son. Look at that. Look at that big rascal. Tired of beating the bank? Found me an offshore spot. By golly, there he was. That's another nice one right here. You know, we've just been hunting and pecking away. We hadn't found the mother lode. We hadn't just crushed them. But by golly, we've caught a good one here and there and here and there, and that's another good one we got. That one's on the deep crankbait, probably about 10 feet deep on that little offshore break that we found a little while ago. Let's see if we can't get another one of those. Oh.
While the shallow fishing was fun, a good offshore bite can be addictive. John has found a monster school of fish, and he's catching them almost as quickly as he can get a lure in the water. There's no tournament to save them for, so he'll keep going until they stop biting.
Not as big. Decent fish, though. Get on here. Think we're onto something out here. Decent. Whoa.
We could be here for a long time.
I think there's a little wad of them out there. I just checked my line after that fish had some scarred up action on it. I don't care how fast they're biting. You don't want to throw out there and then break one off, so you got to make sure your line's not scarred up. And get lined back up. See what's happening out there. I think they're kicked up. When I caught that good one just a second ago, I think they started schooling right out there, and then that was the first cast back out there and caught that second one. There he is. Yep. Feels like a good fish. Oh yeah, big 10-4. Look at that big moose. Oh God. Yes, sirree. He's just on that back hook. Right in the lip. Come to me. Look at that. That's another nice one right there. As you can see, I finally found that deep water structure spot that I've been looking for all day. Caught 3 nice fish off of it, but time was up. Didn't have much more time to expand on it. So as I look back on the day, we caught a few shallow, caught a few off of cover, and caught a few off the deep cover. So it's just a typical early fall day. You gotta hunt, peck, scratch to catch the fish. You can still catch fish, but it can be tough. You know, we had the bluebird skies today. Makes fishing a little bit tougher. I knew it was gonna be that way. Sometimes you gotta work with repeated casts, different angles, hitting the shade, all that kind of stuff. You gotta just keep your head down, keep trying things, and you can catch fish. So hopefully, some of the things you saw me doing today can help you on your Lost Lake.